All right, guys. With that down, let's move into our final topic here today, shall we? Paris, what do we got up next?
All right, well, with Shrek 5 being officially announced for 2026, a John Campea Show viewer named Box Office Fan wrote in to remind us that there are a number of very high-profile animated films coming out that year and asked the question if we think 2026 could actually be the biggest box office year for animation in history. So, John, what do you think?
Yes. Listen, well, first of all, whenever you ask the question, could something happen? The answer is always yes. If the question is could, not will, then the answer is always yes. But I mean, I think there's actually a pretty good chance 2026 could end up not necessarily being the best animation, but the most successful animation. Now, right now, I think it's fairly safe to say that the most successful year for animation was 2019. And that's what 2026 is going to have to go up against. Because let's go back and take a look at the animation of 2019. We had movies like, remember, this is all in the same year. Lion King made $1.66 billion. Frozen 2 came out that year, made $1.45 billion. Jesus. Toy Story 4 came out that year, making $1.07 billion. How to Train Your Dragon 3 came out that same year, making $524 million. Secret Life of Pets came out that year. Secret Life of Pets 2 came out that year, making $431 million. And even The Addams Family made a little bit of money, made $204 million. And then there was the Lego Movie 2, which was tragically less good than the original and made a lot less money too. But still, look at this. You're just in the top 3 movies. You're talking about $4 billion at the box office just from those top 3.
Yeah.
You're talking about 5 point something billion. I'm not going to sit here and do the math, but just from looking at the numbers,
5.4 or something like that.
Something like that, like 5 point, like that was huge. That is what they have to go up against. That's what 2026 has to go up against. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Miracle Made. Guys, it's hot outside and your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. So if you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA and use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. There are just so many things that make these sheets so fantastic. We already mentioned the self-cooling properties for better quality sleep, but they're also self-cleaning. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. So go to trymiracle.com/Campea. That's TRYMIRACLE.com/Campea to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code Campea at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. So upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Campea and use the code Campea to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Campea to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. So, John, with looking at this killer lineup of animated films 2019, how can you think that 2026 could compete? Because 2026 has got a pretty impressive lineup of its own. Let's take a look. This is the animation right now that's scheduled to come out in 2026. Now, obviously, they just mentioned Shrek 5. If this, and we just said in the last topic, if this movie is just good, you're talking $700, $800, $900 million. This is, I think everybody will agree, this is, I'm not saying it will be a $1 billion film, but can we all agree this is a potentially $1 billion film?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's Shrek 5 coming out in 2026. Oh yeah, Ray. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem 2. Not going to be a $1 billion film, not going to be a $600 million film, but it's going to be like Addams Family and stuff like that. It's going to add a couple $100 million to the total because the first one was great.
Yep.
People love that first one.
Gotta see that second one.
So not one of the biggest ones of that year, but still going to add a little bit to it. As of right, we have another untitled Pixar film Ladies and gentlemen, Pixar is back. After an extremely slow and weak start due to all the hurdles it had to overcome, Elemental went on to make over $500 million, and it was fantastic, which helped set the table for Inside Out 2 to come out, which is now like the 5th biggest animated film in history, closing in on $1.3 billion. So whatever that untitled Pixar film is going to be, that's a potential $1 billion film. Not that it will be, just the potential's there. Next, Super Mario Brothers Movie 2 is coming out in 2026. Lest you forget, that did make $1.3+ billion, that first one. That's another potential $1 billion film. That's coming out in the same year. Aang, The Last Airbender. Not a $1 billion film, not a $700 million film, but there is a huge fan base for that original Last Airbender animated series, and this is the true follow-up to that. With the same showrunners, directors, all that kind of stuff, following up the continuing story of Aang where the show left off. That's going to be pretty successful. Toy Story 5 is coming out. Last couple of those movies made over $1 billion. Yep. You better believe this has the potential. Maybe it's a $600 million film. Maybe it's a $900 million film. It's got the potential to be another $1 billion film. And Frozen 3 is coming out in 2026. Frozen 1 and 2 are two of the highest grossing animated films in history. Is there anybody out there? A serious show of hands. Is there but now that I can see your hands, is there anybody out there that is willing to bet that Frozen 3 doesn't make $1 billion at the box office? And the other ones we're talking about potential. Anybody in any right state of mind believe that Frozen 3 will not at minimum be $1 billion film? Because if you don't, you're crazy. All these other ones, potential. This one, take it to the bank. Frozen 3 is going to announce tickets are going to go on sale, and it'll make $1.2 billion just in the opening weekend of ticket sales. I mean, it's going to be huge. So, to recap here, animation coming out in 2026. Shrek 5, going to be a big success. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem 2 is going to be bigger than the first one. Pixar, they're back. Super Mario Brothers, last one made $1.3 billion. Aang, The Last Airbender is going to get a lot of attention. Again, it's not going to be a $500, $600 million film. It's going to make a bunch of money. Toy Story 5 is a potentially $1 billion film, and Frozen 3 is practically a guaranteed $1 billion film. So not just in possibility, but even in terms of probability, can the animation lineup of 2026 actually compete with or maybe even beat the box office success of what was an insane 2019? I may change my mind after we get into 2026 and see a couple of these movies. Not that I'm still going to be doing this in 2026, but I mean, I think this does it. I think this is the lineup that could potentially beat 2019. Yeah. So I don't know, Ray, what do you think when you look at this?
You know what? I'm just looking at this year, what's going on with animation and how much it's dominating so far. If this continues to grow, with a couple of those movies, there's a big fan base. I believe it has the potential to beat it, but I can't say for sure until we actually know what's coming out. Things could be delayed, but let's say this is the lineup.
Let's say this is the lineup.
I think it's missing one more franchise in there. One more big franchise.
Really? So Shrek, Super Mario, Toy Story, and Frozen aren't enough?
I think it's maybe missing one more. But you know what? If it was a yes or no, no, I'm gonna stay.
I mean, I think if all of these sequels underperform, it's a downward trajectory but just a little bit. You're looking at $4.5 billion,
right?
So you're like $900 million. But if you get a couple that are on par and a couple that supersede the previous the movie, you're tied or above.
Because I think there's 5. I think 5 of these films are potential $1 billion films.
Oh, yeah.
I think Shrek is a potential $1 billion. The Untitled Pixar, you just got to automatically consider a potential $1 billion film. The Super Mario Brothers is coming off $1.3 billion, so that's potential. Toy Story 5 is a potential $1 billion film because the last couple of ones were. Yeah. Frozen 3 is a guaranteed $1 billion film. I mean, Yeah, so I'm going to come in on the yes on this.
Oh, you are, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to
I
come in
gotta
on the
know what
yes
that
on this.
Pixar film is.
Yeah,
Because two Pixar films in 1 year, Toy Story, yeah, right. But then like, have they not announced it yet?
Well, it's still over 2 years away.
Elio comes out in 25.
Yeah, that's the
So
one.
that'll be, and that's Pixar, right? Not Disney.
Right.
So that'll be a nice like benchmark. If this is a new IP, this untitled
right,
Pixar.
right.
Yeah, but we don't know if it's a
We
new
don't
IP,
know. It could
right?
be
It could be
that's
Incredibles
established.
3.
Yeah.
Oh God, imagine if it was the Incredibles, 3.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
then I think
chills a
everyone
little bit.
would put up the Y.
I
It's
want to think
definite
about
if
this.
there's-
I don't know why that just came up, but oh my God. Look, let me be clear. There's no reason to believe this is true. Okay. None. I'm just saying, imagine that was an Incredibles 3.
It's been a while.
Forget about it. If it's
It's been-
Incredibles 3, yeah.
It's been a while.
2026 is the year.
First of all, I loved Incredibles 2. I don't think it was quite as good as Incredibles 1, but I still loved the second Incredibles. I would
Someone
love to
also
see
brought
another.
up-
But
Oh, go ahead.
would they drop 2 heavy hitters in 1 year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've done so many times.
Okay.
Because you got
just-
12
Yeah,
months
it's not
to
dropping
I'm not-
2 in the same month,
Or even
We're talking
like in
the
summer.
same year,
Yeah.
right?
different quarters.
Yeah.
I mean, someone also brought up that you never know, man. The Despicable franchise could crank out another Minions that we don't know about,
Oh,
Yep.
yeah,
Because
And
remember,
that-
2026 is still a long ways off.
just to
Like,
add to it.
we
So,
could. I mean, I think we would have. They would at least have a release date held right now, but I don't know. So,
Yeah.
guys, question is for you. What do you think about that? I mean, look, regardless of whether you think it'll be bigger than 2019, 2026, the world of animation has an impressive lineup right now, and it could get even bigger. I personally think the lineup, the way it is, could challenge 2019 for the biggest box office year in animation history. Maybe you think it'll easily do it. Maybe you don't think it'll do it at all. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.